Happy Friday, everybody. It is the week before Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great Friday. And if you are going to go out later tonight, please do everybody a favor. If you're going to go out and drink, call an Uber, a taxi, Lyft, or have a designated sober driver. Please do not drive while intoxicated. So now let's get into it. So welcome to Nicky Stee's Eagles versus Colts Week 11 preview. And if you're new to the Hardcore Sports Network, hit the subscribe button and drop a like. And also make sure you do the same on the Nicky Stee's channel. So we are coming off our first loss of the season, headed into this matchup against the Indianapolis Colts on the road at Lucas Oil Stadium, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, November 20th. So we had that game against the Commanders Monday night. We suffered our first loss of the season. I did have to cancel my weekly recap show for that, but I did several shorts talking about the game right there. So let's get into it now. So we're going into this matchup against the Colts now 8-1. The Colts are going into this matchup 4-5-1. They're fresh off a comeback win against the Las Vegas Raiders, where they went back to Matt Ryan as their starting quarterback. And in that, though, most noticeably, Jonathan Taylor was back, and his presence was felt in that matchup right there. Jonathan Taylor, let's see what he did. So against the Raiders, he had 22 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. His longest run was 66 yards. And the reason I emphasize that part the most is because we had trouble stopping the run Monday night against the Commanders. So, Mitch, shout out. Thank you for coming in. Happy Friday. Right, and to everyone just dropping in, if you're new to this Hardcore Sports Network, you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe and drop a like. And as I was saying, Jonathan Taylor. So because Jonathan Taylor is one of the top backs in the league and he's back now in the Colts lineup, I have to emphasize that part right there. We struggled to stop the run against Brian Robinson and the Commanders. Now we got to go against the Indianapolis Colts. While clearly we are the far better team on paper going into this game, this is the first game we're favored to go out there and win that I've actually had my doubts about, mainly because, well, not my doubts, but I've had some concerns about, being that we're still fresh off the loss, and that was only on 3 days ago. So, it's only been 3 full days in between. So this is the first game I've had some concern we might not come out on top in a game that we're heavily favored to win. But yes, so the Indianapolis Colts going into this matchup, like I said, they're 4-5-1. And their record says that they're a competitive team, and they are, but really, let's face it, they're still not that good of a team. And we do look at their schedule. Let's take a look at their schedule. So I'm looking at it right now. I got a separate tab up on my Chrome. So I'm going to go through their schedule. So week 1, they tied the Houston Texans 20-20. Then week 2, they got shut out by the Jaguars 24-0, which usually they lay an egg in Florida against the Jags. But then week 3, they came back and upset Kansas City 20-17. And being that they upset Kansas City, there is a possibility they might upset us too. So don't rule their chances of winning out the books yet. But let's continue. Week 4, they lost to the Titans 24-17. They squeaked out a win against the Broncos week 5 on Thursday night, 12-9 in a sloppy game. They got the revenge against the Jags at home, 34-27. They lost to the Titans 19-10 week 7. Then lost to the Commanders at home 17-6. Got blown out by the Patriots week 9, 26-3. And pulled that comeback against the Raiders 25-20. So that's where the Colts stand as of right now headed into this matchup. So obviously, they're still not that good of a team, but they do have an upset win against Kansas City, as I pointed to. So don't rule them out just yet. Not until the game's played. But yes, so we got that right there. I'm going to first take a look at our depth chart right here. So going into this matchup, as of now, both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are questionable. So, and so is Jason Kelce. So that could be a bit concerning there. As far as Dallas Goedert being on IR goes, Jack Stoll will be the starting tight end. Grant Calcaterra is the number 2 tight end, and Tyree Jackson, the 3rd tight end, headed into this matchup. So there is the possibility we could have to start Cam Jurgens in this one right here. We will have to see, and as we know, Marlon Tuapultu and Jordan Davis are on IR, and Fletcher Cox and Hassan Reddick are questionable as of now. So there are some injuries here, which is going to happen late in the season, but right now they're questionable. So we'll find out Sunday if they're going to play or not. Now, for the Colts goes, they do have less injuries on the offensive side of the ball. There's no major injuries, and they are going back to Matt Ryan here, which, I mean, I'm not concerned about Matt Ryan being able to pass on us. Unless Jonathan Taylor wears out our defense with the run game, that's the only way I'm concerned that Matt Ryan's going to do anything to our secondary. But back to it. So on the defensive side of the ball, Kwity Paye's questionable. You got Zaire Franklin, questionable at linebacker. At defensive back, Kenny Moore II's questionable. So there are some injuries on the Colts side as well. So that's where the depth chart stands going into this game right here. But this should be a winnable game right here against the Indianapolis Colts. We shouldn't go out there and lay an egg right here. We should be able to bounce back and get the victory. However, the one main concern I have that they might get the best of us is if they are able to run the ball effectively, because we saw our run defense has struggled at times during the season. I had said, even when we were in the undefeated streak, I was saying in some of my preview and recap vids, on numerous occasions, if we struggle to stop the run, this could come back to bite us late in the season. Well, it did on Monday night. So obviously, I'm going to emphasize that again. We have to be able to stop the run right here. And the Colts right here, they do have an average of 987 total rushing yards, and they've given up 1,107 rushing yards for the season right there. So that could be favorable for us to run the ball in this game too, with Miles Sanders, get Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott in there a little bit. Maybe Jalen Hurts could run a little bit, but I don't want him to run like 15 times in this game or plus. I don't want that necessarily. However, we could definitely go to the run game right here and try to wear down their defense that way. And the Colts, total passing yards, they got a decent amount, 2,534, but that's just statistical numbers right there. We know that's not translating over into wins. And I'm not really concerned about Matt Ryan here because Matt Ryan this season has not been playing good, okay? They benched him, remember? Matt Ryan was initially benched because of poor performance. So obviously, Matt Ryan's not looking too good in a Colts uniform. And I even thought going into the season, he might be able to thrive in that environment. I initially did think that back in March. Because I was looking at last year with the Falcons going, okay, well, they did win 7 games. Matt Ryan was there for it. He played a role. Okay, maybe now with a better structure around him in Indianapolis, he'll play better. But obviously, that's not the case now as we're seeing. So I'm not really that concerned about Matt Ryan, especially we got Bradbury Slay in there. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I'm not afraid of those guys going against Matt Ryan. I believe those guys are going to shut down those Colts receivers. Okay? I have firm belief there. So I have confidence that this secondary is going to shut down the Colts offense. I don't think Matt Ryan, he may have played statistically good against the Raiders, but let's face it. The Raiders defense, there's nothing impressive about it. Let's just face it. So just because he was 21 for 28 there, don't mean that I'm thinking he's going to do the same against the Eagles. He's not. You see in this secondary shutdown team, so I'm feeling like it's going to be more of the same Sunday against the Colts on the road. Now, the only concern right there I have is with the run game right there, being able to stop Jonathan Taylor. We got to do something to stop Jonathan Taylor, or at least contain him. If we don't stop him completely, maybe contain him to 3.5 yards per carry. That's maybe the most you can allow him to move right there. So maybe we can at least contain him at least to 3.5 yards or shut him down completely. We got to be able to do that. And that's one of my main keys to victory right there is shut down the run right there. Okay? I emphasize this repeatedly. But it was kind of hard to see that. It was I emphasized it, but it didn't stand out as much because we were still winning. But now that we lost the game, one of the main reasons was because we gave up too many run yards. Now it stands out. And I'm going to emphasize that. But obviously, we don't have Jordan Davis there to help us out. So let's once again go look at this depth chart right here. See what we got. And we got Fletcher Cox is questionable, but we could use Ndamukong Suh in this matchup right there. He's a veteran. He could help us right there. But we got Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Robert Quinn. So we should have the talent there at the line to at least contain him. And Jonathan Gannon, you got to do a better job preparing this team defense for the run. Whatever you're doing right there in those practices this week, you better be focusing on stopping the run. Better be a point you emphasize to upgrade the run defense for this matchup. Because if we don't do that, it could be another long afternoon defensively. That could either give the Colts a chance to win or to make the game a lot closer than it has any business being if we don't do that. So please do something. You got those guys in there. You're going to have Brandon Graham in there. Fletcher Cox, we're not sure yet. But if you need to, you go to Sue right there. Got Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Robert Quinn. Use those guys right there to help stop the run. Win those battles against them. Guys, if Hassan Reddick's in there, use him to help stop the run. And also, use that O-line to get pressure on the quarterback, too. Please, get pressure on Matt Ryan. You've seen him struggling this season thus far, too. So that's going to tie into my next key right there. We're still on that D-line. Get some pressure on Matt Ryan. You've seen him struggle throughout the season. Okay? Especially against games when they have to play against better defenses. Matt Ryan looks washed, okay? And if he's going to be starting, you bring the heat on him, he's going to show you why. He's going to show you that he's washed right there if he feels that pressure coming from that Eagles D line. You know what I mean? You hear me? So, yes, if anyone's watching this, Jonathan Gannon, if you're watching this video right now, or if you just catch part of this at any point, please send the blitz to make Matt Ryan uncomfortable, make him make mistakes, and stop the run. So those are two of the main keys right there. Another key right there, here's the play discipline football. And I know it sounds like a broken record with me repeating it, but after last week, I got to emphasize that because, yes, the Zebras weren't good. They made some bad calls. However, hey, Philly, so thank you for coming in. Hope you're doing well right now. Hope you're enjoying this stream right here. I know you said you got something coming at 1 today. Is that correct? If that's the case, best of luck with your stream. Have a good stream. And as I was saying, so the next key, to play disciplined football, because we didn't see that on Monday. We fumbled several times. I know one of those was the face mask against Goddard, which should have been called. However, there was still that Watkins fumble, which could have been completely avoided. Watkins made the diving catch in Washington territory. He could have just been touched down right there. He could have been touched down and took him, gotten the yards, but he decided to get up and try and play hero ball. That caused the fumble. And there's a possibility that doesn't happen. We could have scored a touchdown on that drive if Watkins just decided to fall on it instead of playing hero ball. It's possible. And then we could have possibly won that game, maybe. Obviously, now I'll never know, but that ties into the point that we got to do a better job being disciplined. Don't commit stupid penalties. And we had the following drive when Heineke slid on third down. Was it third down? He slid and then he got hit afterward. The hit was unnecessary. All that did was draw a flag and give him a first down. Like stuff like that we cannot afford to be doing in this matchup, okay? So we can't afford to make stupid mistakes like hitting the passer after he slides or fumbling on a play where the fumble could have been easily avoided, hence the Quez Watkins play. So stuff like that, like the mistakes made late game, we need to avoid those this week and do a better job, okay? So because that's why I emphasize that this week. You need to turn that around so we don't get an upset loss back-to-back weeks right here. Because if that happens, that could hurt our momentum a little bit going into the playoffs. So let's not make those same mistakes we did right there. And here's something else, another key to victory. If the passing game isn't working as proficient as it's been through most of the season, focus on the run. So if we decide we're going to come out early and try to pass the ball, but we're not doing it as efficiently as we'd like, call an audible in terms of strategy and start running the ball a little bit more and try to wear out the Colts defense that way. So that's another key right there. do feel like, I could kind of say like it's a combination with Key of being able to pass the ball fit better than last week. Hurts got to do a better job than he did last week. And I'm sure he feels that way too. Knowing his attitude, he knows he's got to come out there and do better this week. And I believe that he's going to come out there determined to be better than he was last week. So I'm confident that Jalen Hurts is going to come out there with something to prove into this matchup against the Colts to make people forget about that performance against the Commanders. But if it's not working as effectively as planned, then you can go to the run game right there. So, right, you can run the ball, wear down their defense. You know how we did that a little bit last year when we didn't have the best weapons? We went on that stretch later in the season where we were winning games to help us sneak in the wild card. We were running the ball more to help wear down the defense and open holes in the passing game. So if the passing game isn't all the way there, isn't on point, the point you want it to be early, decide, okay, let's try to run the ball a little bit, wear them down, use that, and then once you wear them down, then go back to the passing game a little bit. So I do feel like we got to be able to either pass efficiently or run efficiently. I kind of put that as a little bit of both right there as a key to victory. So those are some things we could definitely do to ensure we get this victory right there. So those are my keys to victory right there. Obviously, we're going to see what happens come game time. There's still some injuries. We're not going to know till it comes game time. So we'll have to wait and see what happens right there. Eagles, though, they got to be prepared possibly for the worst case scenarios. They got to be prepared to possibly go with Ndamukong Suh if Fletcher Cox isn't able to go. If Hassan Reddick isn't able to go, Patrick Johnson's going to have to be able to step up. If not Jason Kelce, then, hey, Cam Jurgens going to have to be able to step up. Maybe Zach Pascal might need to step up if A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith or both are unable to play. So we got to be able to be prepared for the worst possibly in terms of injuries, right? We've got to be prepared. Some of these backup guys got to be prepared to go in there, and take on a bigger role here. So that's something else we got to do too, just in case some of these guys can't play. But ultimately, we'll find out come Sunday what's going to happen right there. But yeah, I do think if everything goes according to plan, the Eagles should be able to win this game. Now, maybe it's possible with Jonathan Taylor being in there and with some of our injuries, it might be closer than it should be. So maybe it's possible we could win in a close game, maybe. Or it is possible that maybe we could bounce right back and win in a blowout and maybe catch some people by surprise. We'll have to see what happens, but I still think we should be able to win this game right here. I mean, I know the Colts right there, we can't take them for granted at all because remember, they do have that upset win over Kansas City week 3, but I'm thinking we should be able to win this game right here. At least come out with the dub. We should at least be able to put up 20 points on this team. I'm hoping we could at least get to at least 27 or more points in this game right here. So I'm thinking we're going to win this game right here. If you guys still in here, you guys can give me a score prediction in the chat yourselves. Let me know what your score prediction is for this game. I'm thinking it's possible this game could be maybe like a 27-17 win if all things go well. If not, I'm thinking we might possibly lose this game, maybe 21-17 or possibly 23-20 if things don't work out that well. But I'm thinking we should be able to win. I don't think it's going to be a complete blowout, but we'll have to see what happens. So that's really what I got to say right there. So to everyone that tuned into the stream, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you to MK, Philly Sports Talk Podcast, who came in, and anyone else that came in to show support right here. And if you haven't done so already, please do me a favor. Check out my channel as well. I'm uploading a lot of short content about Eagles, 76ers, other NFL and NBA subjects on my channel, Nicky Stees. You can easily find it on YouTube if you haven't done so already by typing in Nicky Stees in the search engine. As soon as you type in, the first channel that pops up in the search results is my channel. So check that out if you haven't done so already. Most of all, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to repeat a point I brought up earlier. If you're going to go out drinking later tonight or on Friday night, please do so safely. Call an Uber, Lyft, taxi, or designated sober driver. Don't be the one to drive intoxicated. Please stay safe. Have a great Friday night. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's get this W right here. Let's bounce back, go up to 9-1. I'll be back on Tuesday to do a weekly recap video. Until then, you can check out more short videos on my channel. It's Nicky Steve signing off for now.
Awesome power of